Hi, it's T, and I'm very happy to be with you to continue our conversation, the overarching conversation on joy versus conditioning. It's an overarching, more personal conversation. So, I had an opportunity recently. I was very blessed to have an opportunity to talk to a couple of teenage athletes, and I'm not related to either one of them, in case you're wondering. And I wanted to share our conversation in the context of what we had been talking about, how the dynamics had changed from hierarchical to more of equals on a horizontal kind of sharing power basis. And we are going to do a little bit of breathing here first, just to open up and soften and get ready to let something else in, something we've never, quote, thought of before. So go ahead. Actually, let's start with a shoulder rotation. Just inhale your shoulders up to your ears and then back and down. We'll do that a couple more times. And if it feels good to you now, instead of with your shoulders, just inhale as deeply as you can into your belly and let it go. A full, expansive exhale. And you can take one more of those. Great. Excellent. So just softening and being a little bit more willing to let something in. So back to these two excellent teenage boys that I am really not affiliated with in any way. So we were talking, and I asked them what they like to do for fun outside of their schoolwork and outside of their sport. And the one piped up and said, "Oh, like I need to get my schoolwork done first so that I can work on my business." And I was like, wow, work on your business. That's phenomenal and very cool. What's your business? And he went on to tell me about how he not only designs websites, but also runs, and I might have the details wrong here, but runs algorithms that will help him figure out how to help companies, whether it's through different kinds of social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think he named a few that I didn't even know. And then he approaches those specific businesses to say, hey, I can help you very specifically connect with customers this way on these platforms, and just all this technical stuff, right? And I was like, wow, that's phenomenal. And so the other guy pipes in and he says, yeah, what I would really like to do is, I know that, people can go into a store or even online and just order off the shelf a computer, but I would like to build a business around helping people customize and buy a computer that is custom fit for them based on some questions that I would ask and different things, and I could really help them with that. And I was so impressed by these two young men, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, they're probably graduating in a few months and what have you, but I was just checking. So I said, like, what year are you guys in high school? And they both said, oh, we're freshmen. And I just thought back to myself as a 15-year-old and the kinds of things that I was thinking about and concerned about, like, what? So that is all to say and to illustrate, and really, of course, I'm using that story for my own purposes here to reinforce like what we had talked about in the last couple episodes, which was really about how things are changing, and they're changing right in front of our eyes, and they're changing so much for our kids versus us. So I was like, wow, these two young men, very young men, are seeing themselves as like powerful and gifted and having something to contribute and offer, and they're shaping it, or they're doing it. And it was like, wow, that's a big aha, because the conditioning that I I remember was, okay, here's what you need to do to fit in. If you want to fit in over here and you're going to go to college, then yeah, you can study, basket weaving or something, and leave it up to chance about getting a job. Or here are the top 10 majors that you should really da da da. And so seeing ourselves in that paradigm as like a piece that has to fit into a game that was already outlined, a puzzle that was already cut, and I was a piece, and I'm trying to fit in and find out where I fit in, as opposed to these two young men who were like, okay, this is this is what I love, and this is what I'm great at, and this is what I'm thinking and how I can contribute. Or maybe I'm already out in the world doing it and getting experience doing it and cutting my teeth and getting better. And so that's the world as it is today. There are very, very few people today who are retiring from somewhere that they started, when they were 20, but now they're 50 or 60 and they're retiring. That is like almost unheard of. And it wasn't unheard of when we started, right? Or it wasn't unheard of too long ago, few decades ago. So now it's a very different world, and it's humbling in one sense, but it's very exciting. And so to allow our children to best prepare and to be guided in the best possible way, our opportunity is to come into a connection, deeper connection with ourselves. Wherever we meet resistance, meet it. Don't push it under the rug. Meet it. Find a way to meet it so we can be unconditional with ourselves, and then unconditional with them too. So when we bump up against anything, old beliefs, a trigger, a difficult situation, continuing on that thread of what else is possible is wonderful. I was just so excited to share that story with you today, and um, and tie that into our last discussion. So we'll continue, and we'll take a different turn in the next episode. All right, take good care. Bye for now.